So I want you all to have a vision and a desire. I mean, a hunger. I mean, so much so in your gut that you have a desire for better. I want y'all right now to pay attention. So we gonna be talking about real estate in the Dominican Republic. I am like, yes, let's do it. Because you know that money is one of my languages. Real estate is a dialect, and the islands is one of my tongues. Good morning, and great morning to you guys. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Exit Strategies Radio Show. Hey, I am your host, Corwyn J, Melette, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. Hey, if this is your first time listening to this show, you, sir, and ma'am, are in for a treat, because our mission is very simple. That is to empower our community through financial literacy and real estate education, guys. We're legacy building. That's what we do. Always got to give a shout out to those who listen to us faithfully from Hollywood, what you know, no good, all the way up through Monkey's Corner. My mama live out there, y'all. Elder Pastor Vanderbilt Evans Sr., got to give them a shout out. Love them dearly. And, you know, I always got to put that senior on that thing, because those who know me well, and any of you that know him, know that he will jack you up if you don't put that senior on that thing. I love that guy for that. Very principled guy. Got to give a shout out to those who listen to us in Muddy Mullins, Marion County, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And those who tune in, no matter where you are around the globe, you guys are always blowing my mind while giving me heart palpitations, just how much love that you guys have for the content and for what we're putting out here. Now, I'm super excited about today's show. If I was a little bit, my words kind of, start jumbling and going together and all that stuff, I just want y'all to know that, see, I'm over here already in my mind, like processing and like, okay, I got 1,000 questions and all this stuff. So I want you all to have a vision and a desire. I mean, a hunger. I mean, so much so in your gut that you have a desire for better. I want y'all right now to pay attention. So I am very, very humble, very honored that Miss Kathy Colon took out time in her busy schedule to be here with us. Now, let me tell you who Kathy is. Now, Kathy is the founder and CEO. CEO, that means chief something, right? Chief Executive Officer of Nova Lux DR Properties. And we gonna be talking about real estate in the Dominican Republic. I am like, yes, let's do it. Because you know that money is one of my languages. Real estate is a dialect, and the islands is one of my tongues. So let's get it. Kathy, how you doing today?
I'm excellent, Corwyn. How are you?
I am phenomenal. So, Kathy, look, I may have put too much on that bread. I may have buttered it up too much, but hopefully people don't slide off the loaf. All right. So look here, tell our listeners who you are and what do you do at high level.
Certainly. Well, first and foremost, I love your enthusiasm. I cannot wait for the questions. I am Kathy Colon, the CEO and founder of Nova Lux. Nova Lux is a small boutique curated, focusing on health and wellness with specific criteria to buying property and investing, second home, vacation homes, if you want to move there, in the Dominican Republic.
Yes. All right. So look, first, why the DR? So let's start with that. Let's make it simple. Because, I mean, sometimes people like, well, I want to vacation somewhere and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But why the DR?
I have roots there. I've been spent every single summer with my grandparents on a farm. When my father decided to retire, he bought a house in the city in Santiago, and we went to go live with him I did a few years of high school there. And so DR has been such a big piece of my life, my family's life. I vacation there, grown to love the island. And yeah.
Okay.
Let's take a short break.
Do you remember your grandma's front porch? You know, that spot where stories were told, kisses were stolen, and sweet tea was always being sipped. Now imagine giving your family a place to make those same memories, but in a brand new, energy efficient, and home that was built just for you. At Country Boy Homes, we help folks just like you find that forever feeling. Whether it's your first home, your next home, or we're done with rent forever, like seriously home. We specialize in affordable and durable manufactured and modular homes, the kind that make room for muddy boots, big dreams, and second helpings. Come see what coming home really feels like. Call 843-574-8979 today. Country Boy Homes, built to last, priced for you. So the Dominican Republic is, obviously it's in the Caribbean. So it's a small island in the Caribbean, right? So if you don't mind geographically, so some people probably right now probably got their phones out and started looking and pulling up a map and trying to find exactly where it is. But if you could give, where is it located as it relates to that particular corridor?
It's located in the island of Hispaniola, which is a Spanish island. Right next to the right, we have Cuba and Puerto Rico that we border with. And so those are the 4 islands, and then Jamaica not so far, that are around us. So Dominican Republic is the second largest country in the Caribbean, the first one obviously being Cuba, and it's substantially much larger, it's in size than Puerto Rico. And
so what I just heard is y'all call it dab in the middle of it all, is what I just heard. I love it. So you focus, again, you guys are a boutique firm. And so for those who may not be overly familiar in all those things, understand that boutique firm is, we're specialized. We're niched in this particular category or corridor, and we're not a massive company that serves everybody and everything, but we focus on this particular, it's lifestyle, like as you mentioned a little earlier. Now you guys focus on like a wellness piece. So let's turn over a little bit of dirt right there. What do you mean by that when you speak about wellness as far as homes that you sell on out?
Sure. So I think I should backtrack a little bit more just so the audience knows a little bit more about me. So I am a public health professional. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. And so I have an executive and master's of public health, also an MBA, all specifically focused business in healthcare. So I look at the world from a healthcare lens. And so why wellness? Because I was caring for a loved one, and I was going between the DR and New York to care for this loved one. And so we started staying in a lot of different villas, and we fell in love with the villas. And so we were trying to figure out where to buy, how to buy, what to do. But then I wanted to integrate the component of care, of generational living, as well as what are some of the things that elongate someone's life. So looking at it from a longevity perspective and an aging in place. So that's why the Novolux was created, to solve these problems. How do you age in place? What are the criteria? What do I look for? And so I developed this checklist, and I don't take on any specific properties that don't match the checklist.
Interesting. So someone looking, 'cause over my years, I've bumped into people or ran into or know people that have this desire to, when I retire, I'm going to move to the Dominican Republic. I'm going to move to Caribbean, wherever it may be. I'm going to move here, what have you. So, how often are you servicing people that are just completely relocating? They're like, okay, look, I've retired from work. I don't want to live in the States anymore. I want to live in a different environment. I don't want to live in the city, whatever it may be, that may decide that Dominican Republic is where they want to be as far as a home base. How often do you run into that? And then what does that look like as far as a process of purchasing a property in the Dominican Republic?
Sure. So I have many different scenarios. I have people that are already retired, but their spouse is still working, so they start to look. I have people that are planning to kind of do it hybrid. I'm retiring in 5 years. I want to build my boots now. I'm going to go down there and visit. The other part of the time, I want to rent it out. I also have like a more younger, I'm retired in 20 years, and I want to buy this property. And in the interim, I'm going to go there once a year for maybe 2 weeks at the top, but I want to have it rented out. So there's all different types of the spectrum. I'm also finding that a lot of people are like sick of taxes, and they want to find a better way that doesn't like eat up all their cash. And there's so many different scenarios in between. What's the process like? The process when you haven't been to the DR, or even if you have been, like someone like myself, can be very daunting. Where do I go? Who do I look? Is this place trustworthy? Am I going to find the right community that's right for me? So what I do is I vet all of that out for you. So by the time you come to me, I kind of want to gauge what you like, what your interests are. Do you like golf? Do you like the beach? Do you like the mountains? Do you like city living? How often are you traveling? Like, how important is community for you? Or do you not care? You just want to be a teacher? Do you want like a more sustainable living? I gauge like timeline, budget, size, all those different things. And then I kind of narrow, that's why we're boutique. You have a curated selection. I narrow it down and identify which projects will best fit this person. And then I present them to the person, kind of a curated list, and they'll go through it and I'll tell them all the reasons why. I like this one for this reason. And so they then do their own due diligence and research and digest the information that I give them. And then they kind of come back to me with like, I like these two projects. Let's dive deeper into this. And so once they identify which one they want to go with, if it's already built, we connect to the deposit, connect with the lawyer, and they need to do financing. We get the bank involved. And so that's all available to you. And a lot of people don't know this.
So let me start with one of the things that you just put on the back end of this, because that's something that oftentimes we don't think about. Like, how do you transact and do the transaction there? Meaning, is it finance, et cetera? So I want to throw this out. Let's assume, and just so you know, Kathy, I'm talking for me. If I want a property down there close to the beach, I mean, beach, ocean views, maybe there's mountains or what, I don't care. But let's say something either on the ocean or with very nice views. Around about, what should I expect? Let's just pick a product, condo, detached, whatever. But what is that going to look like financially as far as in US? And then the second thing is, how do you do a transaction there? Because I'm assuming the currency differs. So how are you doing the transaction there to acquire properties such as that?
Okay, so I can walk you through an example of a condo. I'm going to do different scenarios because different parts of the country depends where you buy too. So if you go to Punta Cana, you're going to pay premium price. It has the most developed infrastructure. Everyone is super high end. So that's going to be a different price point than if we go to a different part of the country. Okay. Just as beautiful. So a condo in Punta Cana right now, I have an amazing like ocean view, 5th floor, 2 beds, 2 baths, fully furnished. You don't have to pay taxes for 15 years with CONFOTUR tax exemption law for international buyers that buy over 200K. And you don't have to pay the 3% transfer tax. You don't have to pay the 1% EP. And then after the 15-year passes, all you do is pay 1% over anything that's over 174,000. So it's still minimal. Your HOA fees will be $2 per square meter, which like on an 80-meter square apartment unit, is probably $160. Well, your apartment comes furnished end to end. If you want it managed, you have it managed. Something like that, it's about $393,000. And by the time, so this is a pre-construction example, by the time it usually takes 2 to 3 years to build out. This is pre-construction. By the time it builds out, it is now increasing value between 30 to 40%. Although the ocean view tends to do better, like 50%, but I'm conservative, so I'd rather say 35. So you have substantial equity. You could also rent it out. You have like a Wyndham that manages it. If you want to go visit and hang out and stay there for a month and a half, you're still going to do very well. So the ROI would be anywhere between 6 to 12% collectively from a pool of other people that are also buying and investing. A villa, let's just say, let's go to another part of the island. Let's go to the North Coast. A villa there can like 4 beds, 4 bathrooms, 2,500 square feet. You're looking at like 700,000 in an ocean, in a gated community with everything like end to end that you can just walk the beach, like have your breakfast and coffee on the beach, you smell the ocean, and the HOA fees there, like $300-400. And you asked about the transactions. What are the transactions like? All the currency is in dollars, but you pay USD. So there's no exchange of money. So they're asking 300K, it's 300K. And so the transactions are pretty, it's so funny. The transactions are pretty straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, you walk in your unit, there is a law firm that will do your contract, due diligence, make sure everything's okay. They'll do a title search. You go through the bank usually takes their 4 to 5 months. It's a super lengthy, like arduous process. I like to work with Scotiabank, but you know that everything is going to be like 100% immaculate. And same thing, rates, they fluctuate here, they fluctuate there. They don't do anything more than a 5-year locked in interest rate. After 5 years, they reevaluate, but the choice is entirely yours. Like for the condo, the way that it works, 5K to reserve, 20% initially down, then the 40%, like 259,000, will be paid out throughout the 36 months that your condo is being built. And so the last 40% of that you owe can be financed or you can pay out of pocket.
So let's put this scenario in place. So let's say that you want a property there that you can rent, obviously short-term rent for, let's say you want to be there maybe, let's say 3 to 4 months, less than 6 months a year. From where you guys are or DR, weather is good all year long, right? I mean, if I recall correctly. So it's people go travel there throughout the entire year. So I see a demand. My assumption is it's probably a greater demand in there's peak seasons, maybe summer, parts of summer, then also maybe certain holidays, etc. So my question is along that vein of, in that situation and scenario, how easy is it to maintain that property as a short-term rental? Are you able to get great rates and, all that? Because that actually can help or either pay for it for somebody where technically you're living for free when you go. Does that sound about right?
100%. Yes. It all depends, again, what part of the country you buy in, what your needs are, what you like. I'm going to use the condo example that we've been talking about. So that one, you don't have to do anything. Like Wyndham will handle it for you. You want to go there, spend a month, 2 months, 3 months, perfectly fine. So what they essentially do is they put your apartment in a pool. So collectively, however the pool does is your profit. They also have a restaurant and a bar that if you're a property owner, you also make a profit from. It's like $285 a night. They take care of everything from the cleaning, if your furniture, something happens to it. So it essentially pays for itself. As an example, the Wyndham ROI for occupancy rate of like 45% will guarantee like 23,000. For an occupancy of 65% will guarantee 9.22% ROI, which is like 36,000. And if they're doing exceptionally well, like 85% occupancy, you can make like $50,000 over 12% ROI.
So, and we're talking, the numbers that you're giving are on an annual basis, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But and granted, obviously we like to see the greatest return. So if we assume on the higher end on a unit, and you said profit out of the pool. So that means that Wyndham is basically taking care of everything, the maintenance, the upkeep and all of that. And that's the return that you're getting?
Yes. So
that's a no-brainer.
Exactly. So when investors call me, they're like, I want to be invest money. I don't want to be involved. I have properties all over the world and I'm interested in the DR. I said, I have the perfect opportunity for you. And this is what I present. This one is a no-brainer.
That is like, okay, look here. I'm over here, my mind about blown, like for real, because I'm in my mind thinking about it. And my imagination says there's a few banks that really specialize in this type of properties. So, are they US based? Are they based in the DR? What does that look like? And who typically is the lender or lender type that sees this and does well with these types of transactions?
So I mainly work with one bank and one bank only. It's Scotiabank, and they're Canadian based and they're super strict.
Okay.
So now if you're a Dominican citizen or if you have like your social security number over there, you can use any bank you fancy. But since I deal with a lot of United States buyers, Canadian buyers, and like other parts of the world, this is the only bank that I use.
Makes sense. Because you form a relationship with them and it just works and can completely
trust them. And I know it's going to go, although they like want everything, I know that they're doing this super due diligence. And so that makes me feel comfortable.
So someone who's considering this, right? Obviously, there's always the pitfalls and there's also great opportunities. What are the things that someone who's looking at either relocating or, again, being a part in the States or just investing in all, what do people need to know about buying a property in the Dominican Republic in general?
Kind of have to know what you like. Do you want to be close to an airport, 12 minutes away? Do you not mind taking a more of a drive, like an hour and a half, but you're going to be in somewhere that's like completely, it's like Tulum or Bali. So knowing exactly what you like, what your budget is, and that can help me facilitate what to identify for you, just on what you love. I had dad wants to relocate to the Dominican Republic, and she's moving by herself with her dog. And she says, I want nature. I want front row. I want a first floor. I want to smell and hear the ocean when I wake up or when I go to sleep, because that's what I have here. So she's very specific. So that will help me position like which property for her. So knowing what you want, what you like, I can help gauge. If like I'm a city person and I like nightlife and restaurants and I want to party, I know exactly where to put you to have that. If you're like, I am like a ultra like executive and I want to be able to host and fly people in and have meetings here and have retreats here, I know exactly where to place you.
I love that. I love the element that you just added in there, because sometimes we don't think about that particular piece of it. As you said, someone who may own a corporation or whatever, and this is a place they like to visit or otherwise to vacation to, and to have a residence there that they can then bring their team into, and hey, we're going to do this and we're going to all blah, blah, blah. That is so cool, so neat. I love that concept. So what else? And just you've been doing this for a while, you have really focused and dialed in. Somebody wants a particular thing, obviously you know where to put them. But let's talk about like your favorite place. Like what part of the country is like your favorite place for that kind of brings in everything, that culture, everything else that you are, like that's my jam. So what part of the country is that?
Oh, that's so hard. It's so unfair. You can't do that to me.
Okay, well, hold on. So here's my disclaimer. My disclaimer is we won't hold you to it, because sometimes you got a favorite today and sometimes tomorrow I want to be somewhere different. So give us the favorites. How about that?
Okay. You know, the beauty of DR is that it's so different. Each town has like a different charm, a different flair, like the food, the people. It has like a different magic. So I love Santiago. I go to Santiago, I feel like I am home. However, since I'm a kid, I always go to the beach in the North Coast. So when I go to the beach in the North Coast, for me, it's like a connection that's very familiar and I love, and it's serene and it's peaceful, and each beach is so different. So the North Coast is absolutely stunningly gorgeous with white sand, and the food is delicious. I had not been to since it's like 6 hours away from Santiago, 5 hours away from North Coast. But I started going more as I created Novolux because I needed to see the project, feel the project, be on the ground, know what I was getting into, meeting the developers. I had a lot of time in Punta Cana and Cap Cana. And to be completely honest with you, Steve, I am blown away. I feel like the DR and Cap Cana, it is like the best kept secret. Because if you see and you're on the ground and you see what's going on there, you're going to be like, wow, you have the most coveted names from Europe that all are flocking down there. They want to build towers, buildings. And in the next it's growing so aggressively. In the next 5 years, the crown jewel of Punta Cana is Cap Cana. It's going to have 150,000 new units. My inventory goes up every single month. And I'm like, oh my God, not another price increase. I'm negotiating something here. And my client's going to be like, well, tell them. And so that puts me a little bit of a bind. But what's going on there, growth, beauty, like the IOC, the International Olympics Committee, we hosted in Punta Cana for the first time ever. So what's nice is the United States has a good relationship with the DR. The DR has a good relationship with the US. So that's very helpful for the Americans that want to feel comfortable going there. Feel like it's an extension, Punta Cana and Cap Cana's extension of like Florida, right? Of what's going on there. I mean, not economically, but I mean, from a building perspective, Miami as such. And then the other thing is another best kept secret is like Las Terrenas, where I was talking about the 70-year-old lady. That is where Alex Rodriguez is investing $1 billion and have the St. Regis, the Four Seasons that just announced that they're opening up. So anyone that's smart would buy in Silver Beach, that is 7 minutes away from where these things are being built, and it's an hour and a half from the airport. So are you comfortable doing that? Some people are like, I don't care. Some people are like, no way. I would say those are my top 4 picks.
So, Kathy, we're quickly getting to the end of today's show. So how can people get in contact with you And thank you for that nugget. So look, I don't know if y'all caught that, listeners, but look here, wherever the Ritz and the Four Seasons is, those places will help you not only change your address, but they'll change your bank account. So y'all want to get close to that. So you try to get to the Four Seasons, look here, you can get to the fifth season of quote unquote financial wellness right then. But Kathy, how can people get in contact with you?
Sure. So I could be reached on, if you want to take a look at the properties online, www.novelxdrproperties.com. I'm also very active on social media, particularly on Instagram. Again, my handle is novelxdrproperties.com. If you want to reach me directly, 917-419-9090. If you want to email me, Kathy@novelxdrproperties.com. I'm happy to connect.
So y'all need to hit the website, because when she started talking about these houses, I went to her website. So I was checking this stuff out and I'm over here like, all right, look here. That's what I'm talking about. There's some beautiful properties there with some marvelous views. So look here, I'm over here with a strategy. Look here, Pinky in the brain. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to take over the world. So that's what we're doing. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Kathy, you've been doing this for a while. So I want to ask you what I refer to as that mic drop question, which is, you got into this. This is something that you didn't start doing day one. You got to this. Knowing what you know now, what, if anything, would you have done differently in this process?
I feel like I started late. I should have done it sooner. I had fear and scared, and I was doubtful that I can execute this, and how would I be able to manage it? I wish I would have had more courage to start sooner.
That's real. That's very real. So Kathy, thank you so much for that. Thank you for taking time out to be on with us today. And most importantly, thank you for what you're doing, because you are a connector. And more importantly, you are an amazing resource in connecting people to that part of our world. And I'm excited for the opportunities that, guys, y'all want to do some investing. Let's start talking. Let's make some stuff happen. All right. So guys, look, thank y'all so much. But Kathy, again, thank you so much for taking time out and being on with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This was a wonderful time. Thank you.
Awesome. So for our listeners, guys, look here, y'all got it. Y'all want to do something with it. Y'all better holler at your boy. We're going to make some things happen, because I'm loving this space that we're in right now, guys. I really and truly am. So for our listeners, y'all know how I feel. You know what I say. You know, I always put the two of those things together, and I give it to you this way, which is I tell you that I love you. I love you. And we're going to see you guys out there in those streets.